is still concerning the generation of MLK. I love comic books, friends and family of Martin Luther King Jr. I'm not going to ignore that. I love comic books. Comic books are a way for me to find valid information in the everyday lifestyle of man that I couldn't find in the books in high school because I didn't have the classes and I wasn't intelligent enough to understand what they were saying just yet. The Tolstoys, the Nietzsche's, the philosophies of Zoroaster that could help me get through school. Knowing the culture of other people so that I know how to deal with people from different nationalities without losing myself in my God-fearing Christian belief. Knowing the demigods was something that we were taught, knowing about all these gods of Rome, because that was a part of the Christian teaching also, because that's where Yahweh ben Yahweh was actually murdered. And they had a place for him in the pantheon of their gods, and it was simply a place saying to the unknown God. Because Rome was the beginning of what America is. We have no eternal helpers, only interests. Now, I believe that was Kissinger that said that. The way it was quoted, we have no eternal helpers. To use the word eternal is not something to be taken lightly because it has to go from natural to supernatural. It has to go from natural to spirit. Now, the Satanist, who also grew up with Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, who happened to be Anton Zander LaVey, who opened up a church around just before the assassination of Martin Luther King, before that, and just before the actual protesting that started taking place on a massive scale in America began. You can read his book, and you can find out when he established the Satanic Church and what it was that drove him to do that in the first place. Because he didn't appreciate the lying in the church. I'm not going to say the hypocrisy. This is a Caucasian man who just didn't appreciate being lied to in the church. They tell you all the commandments of God, and then they don't follow them. And he got tired of the hypocrisy. So this man comes along with an argument right in the midst of the MLK party of a generation of MLK that says it's okay to worship Satan because Satan is you. And Satan represents indulgence rather than abstinence. That there's no Lucifer in the sky, no demonic spirit. There's only you, and you are Satan. Which is partially correct what he said, because we can become antichrists on our own without any problem. But what's your excuse when you don't listen to the first five, even the first five of the 10 commandments that rely upon God alone above flesh in all places? Even the first five commandments of the 10 commandments are only about God himself. I think it was the first six. And let's go find out. Yes, we shall. Let's go over here. All the way to verse 11. Now, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's the interesting part about that. The last six. And six is the strength of a man. That's under the Star of David, therefore. So that's the part that we can do by ourselves. But we can't use the last six without the foundation of the first four. When we decide to use the last six without the foundation of the first four, you're bound to fall into disaster. You're bound to fall into disaster. When you start saying, "Hail man," because right after God gets through talking about what he wants from you, now he tells you, "Honor your mother and father, for long shall be the days of your life." Okay? Only at that point do those other commandments now begin to take effect. But it's through the Lord's fear that it has to happen. You all don't want to hear that anymore. Now I'm talking about the MLK generation, because you created my generation, which is Gen X. You created my generation. All Gen X means is that we don't know how we did it. That's all that means. We don't know how we did it. But y'all know.